This is the reason why Orlando Pirates dropped 2 points against Sekhukhune. But this is also another reason why Pirates dropped those 2 points. So let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to the Cutback with me, Umpilo. Here we analyze football matches, Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, and other PSL matches that, interest me. So please do make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. So let's start by looking at how Orlando Pirates were attacking in this game. And this is the problem. Orlando Pirates were building up with a back three. Why is that a problem, you ask? Well, because if you fast forward a bit, you will see that in midfield they have three players as well. Now, that sounds like I'm crazy because Pirates play 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. So why is it a problem that they have three players in midfield? Because if they have three players in midfield, that means now, instead of Muremi inverting here, which is something that he usually does, he's starting out wide. So that means this space is now going to be attacked by one of the midfielders, Umaswangaini, instead of Muremi being here. And this is why we're saying that the back three was a problem, because usually you will find that this player, Undaba or Uhoto, will start higher in this position, which then allows this guy to then invert into this role. In that way, Pirates have more passing option in the middle and they can go from back to front really quick. And look at this shape that Pirates end up finding themselves in. You still see at the back that Undaba is staying back because once again, they are building out from the back with three. And then in midfield, there are four players instead of five because they usually invert both their midfielders. They are wingers. In this case, they've only inverted to Sebelebele, and as you can see, Umremi is staying wide. And because of this, if you were to count how many players from Sekhukhune were there, you will see that there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players who are blocking the center, and Pirates just have 4. So they are already outnumbered because of this. Because also what you see is that with this guy here in Ukhropla, he's blocking a pass to him when the defenders are playing. So he's out of the game. If you come here to Mchela, he's blocking the pass to Makaula. So he's also out. That is why we're counting those as players who are causing trouble. If you also look here, you will see that since they only have 2 players who are the double tens, or even Umbata pushing sometimes to add numbers forward, you see that they are too far to support Van Rooyen if he has the ball because they are focused on this side. And also Utito, if there was, let's say, Umuremi was here, Utito is then here, and then Umbata is closer here. So they can play the ball much quicker, knowing that they can also switch the ball here. But since the left back starts deeper, he's too far from, exploiting this guy, because if he's here, then all of a sudden, the guy who's the right back here, Umokhaila, is thinking twice about being this central, because he knows if this guy gets the ball, then he can attack the space. So now, since there isn't a threat on the left, he just has to stay central, and then Pirates can't do squat about squat. So if you look at the other thing, is that obviously whenever he did go inside, you will see once again Abo Mukhaila are very central, as I just talked about. He's here, he's central because the threat out wide is not there, so he can apply that pressure. So instead of this guy turning, he can't turn because once again there is people who are marking him. And by the time Daba gets there, Sekhukhune have already organized themselves and they are fine in that position. So then Maswanganyi was taken off, and then the 2 boys came on. And the moment they came on, you saw that, okay, here they are centrally. But once again, you still see Pirates still had just the 4 players centrally. But with the creativity and the quickness of the 2 guys that were brought on, they were able to find themselves in these situations and just create chances like this one. But this is where the second aspect of this game came in. And that is the fact that as much as Pirates were able to play the ball, you have the ball being picked up here. And whenever they are trying to play it forward, Sekhukhune defenders were able to step up. Abondlovu and Abokatoso were very good at doing this. You watch this again. Sekhukhune have the ball, Pirates have the ball, and then Undaba is trying to make that overlapping run. And what do you know? As he tries to go forward, there is a tackle that is being made. You watch the situation again. Mfukeng, Look at how huge the space is for Mfukeng. Usually that's just a space that he dreams for the night before the match. If I could only get that much space. But what happens when he's past the ball? Someone is already tight on him. And even though he turns, but he's quick enough to make sure that he doesn't play. Once again, you see the same situation. Butuma is now being played through by Mfukeng, but as he's about to go through, Katoso comes in and he tackles him. So this is not just a combination of, oh yeah, Pirates had 3 midfielders, but it's also about the individuals of Sekhukhune doing the job. The last but not least thing is that Sekhukhune were very disciplined with their line. Their line was always coordinated, so even when Pirates tried to use their pace in behind, like finding this pass here, it was offside. And there's this another offside I just picked two. Even here is offside. The angle shows, even when you watch it from the other side, that he was indeed offside. So a combination of problems. But one other thing that I also wanted to show you is that the thing I was talking about of defenders stepping up. Look at the guy who's highlighted. You can clearly see that his movement here is towards Maswanganyi. So they were not letting them even turn with the ball, because where Maswanganyi is a space in football that is called between the lines. So between the defensive and the offensive line of Sekhukhune, that's where, between the defensive and the midfield line, that's where he's trying to operate, but is not allowed. That is why even with Mfukeng, in the clip that we watched, where is that clip now? I'm trying to find it. Not this one. Yeah, here, you see. There are no clear lines now that Sekhukhune are making. They are just making sure that if Mfukeng even thinks about getting on the ball, we're onto him. Like here in the first half, if Maswanganyi even thinks about moving towards the ball, we're getting to him. So in essence, what this prevented, it prevented Pirates from having the opportunity to turn and operate in those pockets and be able to cause harm to Sekhukhune. So Tinkler, what he made sure he did is basically do what modern football, or in the past few months at least, has been becoming more and more famous, which is man marking. Because if you mark zones, what tends to happen when you're playing against really good teams, they are able to get into those zones or overload those zones. So although you have 2 players there, all of a sudden they have 3. You have 4 players there, all of a sudden they have 5. And they move the ball really quick. So rather than marking those zones and trying to congest the pitch there, what good teams do, what good teams do now, they just make sure that even though there's 5 of you, will man mark you and risk not having a balanced structure, because who cares about balanced structure if it gets exploited time and time again? So this was a very good plan from Eric Tinkler, and I know that some Pirates fans are saying that Wadu should have started with his best players, but he's been starting with his best players, and he's been starting with this kind of team, changing the game in the second half. And even in this game, we saw he started with that team, and then when he changed things, there was a bit of acceleration, but the plan by Sekhukhune was there, and it was just superior to that of Pirates. Go check out this video where I talk about how Sundowns drew with Al Hilal, and stay tuned for the other one of Chiefs against Zesco United. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next.